And welcome back to another episode of Business is Pleasure. I am your co-host, Donald Francis, and I am the co-owner of the Clarendon Trading Company. I am here with the beautiful and incomparable Colette Monique Liebert, wifey for lifey, business partner, and everything in between. And most importantly, the girl of my dreams. Ooh, yeah. So every week on Business is Pleasure, we like to take the time and just review our week, how our business is coming along, and most importantly, how that's affecting our relationship. I think I think with us, we're in a really dynamic situation because yes, we are in a relationship, and plus we're running a business together. A lot of people may look at us like as being totally insane for even trying to attempt this. And to be honest with you, it's been working. So it's like, why stop it now? We're going to continue on the track that we're going and just try to be as successful as possible. But the one way we always start off Business is Pleasure is, how was your week?
You go first.
For me, my week was actually good. I've been able to be consistent for like the last 5-6 months, run the business full time. So that's what I really like. We've always talked about how important it is to be consistent and also build relationships within any business. But without consistency, it's actually impossible to build any type of relationship. Well, it's harder to build any type of relationship. So with me, it's just like trying to be as consistent as possible, picking, running the business in like a really systematic way, so we're always consistent. This week was good in terms of like the things I need to get done. So taking photos, finding clothes, posting online. It's just been consistent. Like that's the word of the day, consistent. But then of course we had the show in Houston, which was crappy. Our first bad show of the year. And I think for us, like we don't ever try to focus on like the negative aspects of the show, because when it comes to business, you're paying for what's not working. So you don't make those same mistakes again, you know? And I think for us going to that show, it kind of showed us like, hey, we know who our demographic is, but it doesn't mean there's gonna be enough of our demographic at that certain event for us to like have a profitable day.
It just wasn't big enough.
Yeah, it really wasn't. It was more so like a local event where like people within the city would go to. They didn't really have that like international draw that I thought it would. But then of course there are some other events, like an event in Vancouver that I would go to where it's like it is a local one, but it's a bit not necessarily bigger. More people that come there are more willing to spend the amount of money that we're asking for our particular items. You know?
And also too, like there was a lot of stuff going on that weekend, and like sometimes that's a bit of like a deterrent for an event. So like there was South by Southwest. Like if everyone's spending their money at like music festivals and like going out and partying and like whatever, they're not gonna be like, oh, like let me go to this sneaker event and buy a pair of Off-White or like buy like whatever, you know.
Yeah.
They're focused on their experiences and having fun. So I thought it was gonna make the event busier because it was.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, to be honest with you. But like, honestly, I knew the event was gonna be crappy because for me, I love free stuff. If I could get anything free, I'm on that right away. So the event was sponsored by Monster. Monster is an energy drink, if you guys aren't familiar. And everyone that was coming in didn't want any of the Monster. I was like, hold up, something's wrong. If there's free stuff that's being given away and people aren't like so eager to get the free items, I knew something was off. From then, I knew right away. But then, the event opened up at 1:30, but officially opened up at 2 o'clock. So 1:30, you had the VIP guests that come in or whatever, and someone bought a piece of Off-White from us right away. So I was like, oh crap, like
Gonna be a good day.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. We're already making a little money before the event even officially starts. I'm like, things are gonna be all right. And then we ended up selling 2 things the whole day, which was just horrible.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to what we talk about. Like a lot of times, yes, with events, we want to make money. That's like the number one thing. Don't get me wrong. But then you also have to understand that it's really important that you're getting leads, and also you're exposing people about your company or your product, you know? So of course I'm still there handing out cards, still trying to get Instagrams, still trying to get new clients, get new leads. And that's also extremely important. If you're only going to an event and you're gonna be sour the whole time that you didn't sell anything, you're wasting so much other opportunities that you can really benefit from.
And like we also learned a lot too. Like we learned that maybe it's not the best idea to travel so far for an event that there isn't like a big following for.
Yes,
like
yes.
if we were to travel that far for an event, it'd be something a little bit more well known, or like something that people were just like generally more familiar with or had like consistent, really, really big and large events in the past. Like for this event, I don't know, you saw a bit about it and it looked like a decent event.
Yeah, because you know what it was too? The ones that I did see about it, they were based in Dallas and in Houston. And those are bigger cities, right?
Yeah.
And this event was based out of Austin. It's surprising, Austin actually has a pretty large population. It's like 900,000 people. Like, you know what I mean? It's around the same size as Ottawa. But of course, Dallas and Houston, they're metropolitan cities that everyone knows.
Yeah.
So a lot more people are more likely to like just get to those places, you know, more highways, easier transportation routes and everything like that. But again, it sucked, whatever. We're not gonna like try to hold on to it. Cause one thing a lot of you like new guys that get into reselling have to understand, if this is something that's gonna be like a long-term thing for you, you have to think about it either on a monthly basis in terms of like the profits or on a yearly basis, you know? If you're constantly looking at like, oh, today I didn't make a sale, today I didn't make a sale, like, you know? You're gonna really like start to get like, that is gonna really weigh on you, it's gonna start to bother you. So it's really good that one, you remain consistent within your selling system, and two, try to focus on a much broader scale. Like, you know, how were you doing at this point a year ago? You know, or how were you doing at this point a month ago?
And
But
it's day by day.
yeah, 100%.
It's baby steps. And at the end of the day, you're doing yourself more of a disservice by being negative and angry about like something that didn't go well. Like when something doesn't go well, that's an opportunity for you to learn from it.
Yeah, and I think that's one way like we always try to like we try to look at our business is that like it's an opportunity to find growth. Like, you know, it's like what you're saying, like, you know what, maybe next time we won't necessarily do a smaller city, only big cities, you know what I mean? And of course we'll like maybe be a bit more diligent in terms of like looking into the event, seeing who's going, seeing how the company's even promoting the events or whatever,
Yeah.
you know. So I think that's always important. But like I said, overall, it's like with me, like maybe like 80% of the event was done. I was like, yeah, like this day's gonna be a wash. So it's like, let me just make the best out of it. You know what I mean? Talking to people. But Austin had some amazing barbecue though. Oh my God, the barbecue was so good. But then it made my stomach feel a little like a bit off. Cause I think it was really oily. Cause you know, it was like Texas. So like, you know, they put a little oil flavor on it. Like, you know, it was like really smoky, but it tasted so good. But then I felt like I almost want to like throw up. I was like, oh. So does that make it not as good?
It's
What's
not
up?
good.
No, I tasted good still. The flavors were on point. But I didn't throw up though. I drank a little water and I was fine. Like, and I was fine.
I'm not eating something that's making
Yo, the food was blessed. I don't care.
No, I'm not doing that. That's like Taco Bell.
I don't care. The food is blessed. Food is blessed. But yeah, overall, Austin's a really beautiful city. Really nice. Everyone's like a cowboy and stuff. I was hoping I'd see like someone with like the generic cowboy like have a gun on them. Just be like, hey, you there? Like, you know. But I didn't get to see any of that.
You're lucky.
Nah, but I know the thing is though, like I feel like in Texas, I'm assuming, so like don't quote me for this, gun culture to them is totally different. It's
I
become
don't know about that.
I think about it, for them to have like open carry and for like so much people to have guns, for them I feel like it's more so like a custom.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. Like to us now.
No,
Hold
but
on. For
all I'm
instance,
saying-
hold on. For us, for instance, right? Like if we were in Canada, we saw someone like walking around with a gun on their waist. We're like, yo, what the hell?
No, but
Like,
what
you know?
I'm saying is, yes, we're in Canada, but you're also a black man in America for a weekend, so that's different.
Yeah, but honestly, but at the same time, I think like sometimes like we use that as an excuse to be like, oh yeah, because the color of my skin, and just because these guys have like lenient gun rules, I should be worried about that. Like to be honest with you, I didn't feel like, and wherever I go, I know that a lot of the times it's more so on me.
Yeah.
So
But,
to like how I react to people, and if something's gonna start, like I gotta figure out the best way to like de-escalate any situation. You
yeah,
know?
but you also have that perception based off of how you've been raised and where you've lived. Like
Yeah, and also like and where I've been as well too, right? Like
Yeah,
like if
like-
I go to Jamaica now, like I'm not gonna act stupid and outlandish and wild.
Yeah.
If I go to New York, I'm not gonna act stupid and outlandish and wild. If I go to Ottawa, I'm not gonna do that way.
Yeah, but you've also never been like a black man in America because it's different than in Canada. I would feel.
Yeah, I personally don't know, and neither do you. So like, I think what's most important is like you have to like always make sure like you construct yourself in an appropriate way, despite whether you're at home, whether you're at school, whether you're in a different country. Like, you know, like you have to more so as self like become really malleable in terms of like your personality and the way you would act to fit that society. Because like you don't want to like. I remember one time I was in New York and one of my friends, they started like smoking on the train. I was like, yo, on the train track, like waiting for the train. I was like, yo, what are you doing, bro? You can't be doing that here. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, you wouldn't do that in Canada, so like, why would you do that down here? So like, for me, it's like, I understand that like, I have to make sure like, I carry myself in, if maybe not a higher standard, or at least like a decent standard that I would in Canada, over there as well too. And honestly, like, you can't live in fear, man. Like, you know me, like, I try not to live in fear. But that's what's really, really most important, or whatever. You know what I mean? What's this next topic here? Finicky buyers. One thing that I noticed that Austin was that like a lot of people would check the stuff, but not a lot of people were like really like asking for prices, like or showed like overly a lot of interest. And like in comparison, like when we're selling stuff online, we'll see people that go through our stuff that send us DMs like, "Hey guys, like, what's the price for this? What's the size?" Even though it says it in the description, but that's a different topic. And for us, it's like, how do you feel about people that say, "Hey, I'm gonna buy this on Friday," or "Hey, like I want to meet up and get this." Like how do you feel about that? The finicky buyer.
I feel like, I don't know, you can always tell, especially online, like you can always tell how someone's communicating, whether they're gonna buy it or not. My favorite buyer is the person that doesn't talk to me at all and just purchases. Like, thank you. Thank you. Whoever you are out there, thank you.
Sorry, before you even get to the finicky buyer, like, what do you think it's one that what we're doing, why it allows them to feel so comfortable, this person that purchasing the item right away?
Because, like, we showcase it in a pretty, like, I don't know, acceptable and nice manner. We have, like, all of the information there. We have a bunch of other stuff. We have our website there. Like
Our ratings.
Like, there's lots of things that are there that kind of, like, make them feel comfortable, that we're not, like, some crazy people just trying to steal their money. So, like, I think, like, that goes a long way. But a lot of the times when people are finicky, you can tell, like, right off the bat. A lot of the times I notice finicky buyers more so through, like, the meetup apps. So, like,
Oh, I can't stand the meetup apps nowadays. I
Yeah.
kind of want to get rid of all of them.
so like
Except
Carousel.
Let Go. You're doing okay
It's
right
like
now.
Carousel and Let Go, like the
And Kijiji.
and Kijiji, like
Facebook Market.
Yeah, Facebook Market, like they have to, like, you have to communicate with the person, which is fine to a certain extent, to like figure out how they want to get their product. But like sometimes it is difficult because people will just be like, "Hey, I'm interested," and you'll be like, "Okay," like whatever. And they'll be like, "Can I get pictures?" And you're like, "Okay, sure."
You'd be like, the pictures are clearly right there.
Yeah.
We can ourselves. Like, what other pictures would you want to
Yeah,
see?
they're like, "Can I get more pictures?" So I take like literally the exact same pictures that are already there. Just
But sometimes it's like a compliment to us as well too, because if these look like stock photos, for people to be like, "Oh, I need actual photos," I'm like, "Hey, like these are actual photos, by the way."
yeah,
You know what
I
mean?
think like people just say it because it's like.
They kind of want
normal.
to prove.
Yeah, like they
They
want
wanna
like
prove that you actually have it on hand.
I don't know. But yeah, so we'll take pictures, whatever. We'll be like, "Yeah, when do you want to meet up?" They'll be like, the second someone is like not like right away or not saying, "Okay, yeah, I'll meet up today," they're like, there's like 80% chance that they're not gonna get it.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this like just yesterday, and for what I've noticed is like if someone says, "Hey, I want to meet up today," or like tomorrow, you probably have like a 50% chance that they're most likely gonna get the item. But if let's say today's Monday and they're like, "Oh, I want to meet up on Wednesday or like Friday,"
No.
they're not getting it, man. Their
No.
mind's gonna be changed. It doesn't
No.
even matter.
No.
But I think that's that for
And
us.
you'll message them. You'll be like, "Hey, it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Are you still interested in the shirt?" And no message.
Yeah, no
Like,
message.
They don't even reply.
Or the worst is that like I messaged someone, so the person had messaged us on Tuesday, and I was like, and they're like, "Okay, Saturday we'll come." That's when you were gonna go and meet them at Yorkdale, right? After I was like, "Hey, it's Clarendon Co. Are you still down to meet up?" "No, sorry." I'm like, what? Like, you were the one that was getting at me, asking for all these pictures, asking for all these measurements. I told you to meet me here. You're like, "No, I'd rather meet at a mall because that's closer." Now it's time to meet up. You're like, "No," you know? But I think that's when we can use like different sound techniques, like what you were talking about previously.
Yeah.
Fear of loss. I think
Yeah.
once you have the mindset that, hey, like, I might not be able to purchase the item if I don't really do it now. Do this. You have something like in the corner of your eye right there. Yeah, you're good. Like, if I don't like really purchase item right now, then hey, like, I'm gonna miss out on this opportunity.
Yeah, I noticed it. I was on Facebook Market before I got banned, but I was on Facebook Market.
Bad gal.
I don't know why I'm banned. It's nothing bad. I honestly don't
It's
know.
not bad gal.
I think
Don't
I,
let it fool
I think
you.
I was posting too often. But anyway, so I was on Facebook Market and I was buying crystals from this lady, and
Carl's crystals. Ooh, I'm Colette. I want crystals. Ooh.
are you done?
No,
Like one of my crystals right there. It's balancing on her energy.
no, you didn't smudge them.
Anyways, okay, so I was buying crystals from this lady, and they're actually really nice. They're for a really good price. I don't know if you've ever bought crystals before, but usually like one is like $15-$20, sometimes like way more than that, like sometimes even $30-$40, right? So she had a box of like, I don't know, probably like 8 crystals for $30, and I was like, this is a great deal. So I messaged her, I'm like, "Hey, I'm really interested, can I buy this, can I meet up tomorrow?" And she's like, "Yeah, definitely, you can meet up tomorrow, but but there's a chance that it might sell before that because there's a lot of people that are interested. And like literally, my heart just started racing. Like it's not that serious.
No, you probably did because you're so anxious. You're like, how am I gonna ever get the crystals for such a good price again? Oh my god, I gotta go right now.
So I sent her an e-transfer. I was like, hey, do you mind if I just send you an e-transfer and you can just hold it for me? And she was like, e-transfer trumps everything. And I just sent it to her and she held it for me.
Yeah, but I think one of the things though is that like, you run a small business. So you understand like the different methods that people would approve. Like,
That's true.
Because you've dealt with this on a regular basis.
The only thing that I can say is like your average buyer, like not everyone's like comfortable with an e-transfer, especially if they've never seen the product before. Like I'm comfortable with it because I do it all the time and I tell people to send me an e-transfer and it's not that big of a deal. Oh my gosh,
send me your money.
thought this piece of my hair was a squirrel.
Oh my gosh, you're fine, babe. Finish what you're saying?
So so I'm like comfortable with it and I know that I'm not gonna scam people and it's all good.
You hope they wouldn't scam you too, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, like, I don't know, I'm not afraid of losing, like, if I lose $30...
You're rich, okay.
No, it's not,
Let me get $20 from you then.
You just said you're not gonna live in fear, and neither am I. Like, if someone really wants to scam me for $30, obviously
like,
they need it more than I do. Like, over
really?
crystals, like, that's some bad energy. But... And so I don't know. I wasn't that fearful that she was gonna run away with my money, but like not everyone's like that. You know what I mean? Like there are people that will be like, no, I'm not gonna e-transfer, and I want to meet up first, and like just do it in cash or whatever. Like, you know.
No, most definitely. And one thing I've also realized about the finicky buyer is that like they're more likely to be finicky during the week than they actually are on weekends. You know what I mean? So I'm assuming that like they get paid probably closer to the week like the average person does. So they're like, hey, like I have money now, let's just meet up or whatever. But if it's Monday, Tuesday, even like a Wednesday, people aren't gonna be as like aren't gonna have the funds right away.
But maybe like, what if I want to buy a burger on Thursday?
Like, you know what I mean? And then I have to take the bus.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, that's like all that extra work. You know what I mean?
No.
Sometimes we gotta take that into consideration as well too, right? Because even when people are meeting up, whether they're driving or taking like public transit, that's an extra like $5 they're adding on to the price.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so sometimes we got to really talk about that. And I think we should also go back to the whole idea of letting people know, like, hey, we'll drop it off to you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, I think the inconvenience factor really plays into it sometimes. Because, again, it's like, I personally don't like doing meetups when I'm purchasing something. Because it's extra work, you know what I mean? Now
What if I get all the way there and I don't even like it?
You know? It's like, I got to carve out time now in my schedule to figure this out.
Yeah.
Plus, I got to, like, waste money to get the item. Plus, I gotta pay for the item, you know. So like all these other added expenses. So sometimes I do understand why people would be finicky, but it's like then stop buying online, then, man.
Yeah.
Like go buy it in store or something, or like just order it from somewhere else. But like for us, I think people need to also understand it's like with us running a small business, it's taking away time from us to actually go do other things. Like that hour now that we're carving in to go meet up with someone, that's an hour we're taking away from running a podcast, from editing, from doing research, from doing strategy.
Yeah, but at the same time, like your average buyer,
they don't understand that.
They don't care about that, and like they don't have to care about that. Like you know what I mean? Like that's part of our running a business. Like it just comes with the territory. So like it is what it is. It's
no, 100%. Yeah, it definitely is what it is.
Yeah.
And like even like I think like what's almost as bad as a finicky buyer is a disrespectful buyer. And I mean a disrespectful, not someone that's not. I don't when I say disrespectful, I don't mean someone that's like that doesn't say hi, that's not well mannered. I mean someone that's like, hey, that is $50, but you're offering 10. it's like bro, like seriously. But again, it's like sometimes people have this misconception, oh, it's used, they probably got it for like 10 cents, or it's used, they like, why are they even trying to get money from it when they've gotten their wear out of it already? You know what I mean? But a lot of times people don't understand. It's like, hey, like this is our livelihood, one, and two, it's like the amount of time that we put in just to find these items, then to like wash them, to take photos of them, you know, that adds into the price as well too.
And it's not a garage sale. Like,
yeah.
If you want a garage sale price, go to a garage sale.
Like, you know what I mean? But again, it's like we can't be disrespectful and rude to the clients to be like, yo, you know what? Like, fuck you, bro. Like, how dare you try to be disrespectful? Because I think what's most important is like that level of customer service. Customer service isn't just customer service when you want someone to buy something.
It's all the time.
It's all the time when they're being disrespectful, when they're being rude, when they're being like dismissive. It's all the time.
Like even today, we did a return, and it was literally his fault.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
The return.
Okay, but like, how was it their fault?
Like we did a refund, sorry, and it was his, because it was delivered to his house 2 times and he wasn't there, so then it got sent back.
Which one was this? Which shirt was this?
The one to Australia, the Harley Davidson, the one I talked to you about literally this morning.
Okay.
Yeah, and like stuff like that, it's like we could have easily been like, no, like it's your fault, like you can just wait for it to come back to you or whatever, or wait for us to ship it out. But it's like sometimes like it's easier just to nip it in the bud and like take the L and then get a sale later on down the line.
No,
you know what I
100%.
mean?
And I also realized the importance of good customer service. So there's this new guy that came into DYN today, and they were just like, hey, I've seen you guys online or whatever, you know. I was like, oh, dope, like, you know, what's your thing? Followed him back. After I just asked, like, you know, because I think it's really important to, like, try to build relationships with whoever's in the industry, because, come on, like, we're essentially, like, colleagues, you know.
Yeah.
So we might as well, like, try not to be, not, we don't have to be friends, but try to get to know each other and, like, maybe, like, try to assist each other one way or another, you know. What's wrong with you?
I have a kink in my neck.
Ush.
Do that.
I'm trying to take care of my babe. Why are you doing that?
Guys, you're so rough.
Yo,
Stop.
Ush.
No,
It's
stop.
love. It's tender.
No, it's not.
Love is pain. Oh, it's
Doesn't
pain.
have to be.
So I met this guy or whatever. What's his name? His name is Vintage something. I'll shout you out, bro, but I forgot your name. But Proper Vintage. I think his name is Proper Vintage. Like, big shout out to you. So he was just like, oh, I was like, hey, like, what made you want to get into thrifting? And he was like, honestly, like, I would thrift a lot, and I saw like a lot of businesses were doing it, but like the customer service was so bad. Like, I'd message them, they'd be so rude and shit. I'd be like, yeah. That's a huge thing. That's actually a reoccurring thing I hear. It's just like people message you. You'll message someone and they'll be like, hey, can I get more pictures? They want to send more pictures. Hey, can I get measurements? They don't want to send measurements. Or like the worst part is that they'll leave you unseen. Or like, you know what I mean? But the biggest things I don't like about the vintage community, they have this preconceived notion that everyone knows like an appropriate price for items or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes people will like show like a vintage Banty. They won't put the price there, which
I've never understood that.
like they won't put the price there, and they'll be like, "Oh, DM offers, but only come with proper offers."
It's like, how am I supposed to know what the price
Like, you know what I
is?
mean? And especially when I'm like a casual vintage shopper.
And like to me, when I see that, it just seems like dishonest. It seems to me, it seems like okay,
You're trying to get the highest
you're doing
bid.
like a silent auction essentially,
Yeah.
and like you're trying to get people to like give the highest number, and nobody knows what anybody else is telling you. So the average price of that may be like $30 or $40, but you have a couple people that because they think everyone else is bidding high, they'll pay like 100 or 150. Like it's just it just seems like. I don't know. It just seems
schemish.
Yeah, it just seems weird to me. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's really schemish. You know what I mean? And I think with us, we've always talked about like, hey, like, if we get something for $10 and we're able to sell it for 20, but really realistically we can sell it for 30, I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, the client's happy. We made a little money. Like, what I'm not gonna be complaining about making more money.
But I feel like some people have the mentality where like they run their business like a hobby in a sense. You know what I mean? And if that works for you, then it works for you. You know what I mean? But I feel like when you're running, when you have a hobby and you're just like selling stuff on the side, like you want to make the highest profit
As
because
possible, yeah. It's
as
a hobby.
possible
You don't know when
because
you're
it's a
gonna sell
hobby.
again.
Yeah, it's a hobby. You don't know when you're gonna sell again. You don't really have a system in place to sell. But when you're running a business, you have a system in place. So if you make $5 off one item, it's not that big of a deal because you're selling 20, 30, 40, 50 of those same items. And you're going to make another $5 and $10 and $50 and $20. So it's like if I make a small profit off of one item, it's one of many. So it's not that big of a deal.
No, 100%.
But like not everyone like has that mentality or has that system in place for their business. So and it's to each their own. Like if that's how you want to run it, then go for it. But
No, 100%. And I think that's why like Clarendon Prep. Oh, guys, honestly, we've been keeping this on the low, but like we literally started Clarendon Prep, and it's been working out really well. We've been running some ads for it, and they've been working out really well. So if you've been able to like check out Clarendon Prep, thank you guys so much. We even started running an ad where Colette is the lady, like the spokesperson for it on our Instagram. Babe, and honestly, I'm kind of cheesed and jealous because everyone is like, yo, go Colette. Like, oh my gosh, Colette. Even Gary's mentioning like, yo, Colette's better than you still. Like, she's doing more of the talking. Like, yo, like, you can go to hell, bro. Go to hell, bro. But like, regardless, like, you know, I'm just playing around, kind of. So,
sort of.
you know, so like I think that's really dope, and I think like with Clarendon Prep, we're gonna allow people to realize like, hey, like you can run this as a hobby, of course, but like put a system in place so you can be more consistent
Even
with
if
whatever
it's
you're
just
doing.
a little system, it
It's
doesn't
a
need to
little
be.
thing.
It doesn't need to be this like grandiose. Like that's one of the things I feel like it like prevents people from like starting a business or like developing a business or going into business, whatever you want to call it, is because they feel like they need to have everything figured out right away. And that's not the case. Like we don't have everything figured out. like we probably didn't have half of what we need figured out. You know what I mean? Like you build it over time, you learn as you go, and you get the things and you obtain the things and develop the things when you need it. Like nothing has to be perfect. Like you don't have to do your first thing and it has to be perfect and it has to make 100% profit, and like that's not realistic. You know what I mean? So just try it.
No, 100%. And I think with us, with like the way we try and view it now, it's like, okay, let's say you're running tasks now. You're gonna go to the store.
Yeah.
You're less than likely to find everything that you want to check out on your grocery list all in one place. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna get your barbecue from the same place where you're gonna get your chicken. You know, so with us, we're starting to realize like, hey, like we can finish this now. That's gonna take us maybe a year to finish, but this task will take us only a couple months. You know, so we're constantly like checking off this grocery list, and over time, which a lot of people are uncomfortable with, time and how long it generally takes, but over time you'll finally have that list checked off and you'll be a better business. Because I don't want to be a perfect business. I think like once we're constantly growing and being consistent within our system, that's when we become the best system as possible. Not a perfect business, because I think that's really unrealistic. It's like, what things are we doing to ensure that one, we're giving our clients value, and two, we're constantly growing as people and also allowing the business to grow as well.
And there's no such thing as a perfect business. Like everything takes time, you know, and like that's one of the things.
That's your Jeff Bezos. That's a perfect business.
But
for me, I guess.
But regardless, it took time.
Yeah, I mean that's funny. Even him, he'll be like, "No, there's like 100 things we're doing incorrectly."
And it took time.
Yeah,
it took time for him to get to that point. Like you're not gonna jump out the gate with perfection. Like it just
But I
doesn't work
love
like
seeing that though. Like looking at the old pictures of him back in the 90s at Amazon. He had like this crappy ass sign. He used to drive around like distributing the books. It's like, oh my god, that's so inspirational. Sometimes you just forget. It's like,
Remember I used to call myself Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, you still are though. You still are. Don't worry, you still are.
And I used
You
to
still
deliver
are.
packages like
Oh my gosh,
all
like
day.
every other day. Okay, so any last words before we get on out of here?
No.
Okay. One last word I want to say. I'm really proud of Colette right now. She was cranky when she came home, but you know her energy was really good for this show. She's happy now. And honestly, it's not that she's feeling better. She's getting French fries. Well, I guess that makes her feel better. She's gonna be able to eat French fries. That's Colette's kryptonite, guys. Get her French fries and she's happy again. No, because it's true. It's true. You're greedy. So I'm really happy for you, baby. You're gonna have your French fries, so you're feeling good. I'm really proud of you. But I think that's it for this week. Thank you guys so much for constantly checking us out, for constantly being there for us, and just for constantly watching our shit, man. You don't have to. You can be doing anything else. But until next time, peace.